Okay, so this is how I do my riveting. I've just watched a few YouTube videos, no proper training or anything, so this is what I've found works. Um, Start with a dolly. I've got a 5mm drill bit into there and then just rounded it out with a Dremel fixture. I've chamfered the edges so that there's less metal in contact with the leather. It gives me opportunity to get in. Pre-cut all my rivets, filed them off, squared them off so they all fit through. So we put one through here. It's easier the thicker the material that you're doing, because the material will support the shaft of your rivet more easily. So on my folded sheaths, when I'm doing the final riveting and it's twice the thickness and it's got the high glue in there which offers extra support, it's a lot easier. Take it so that these are the thinnest edges here on the sides here. So I then put my rivet head into there and then just take the hammer. I'm not sure what size this is. It's not heavy. You don't want a heavy hammer, and it's just lots of hits. I'm not hitting hard, and I'm trying to make sure that the shaft stays vertical all the way through, and it's pretty much straight down. I move it around a little bit if I notice one side's getting higher or lower than the other, then I work it around. It's going reasonably well. So now that's squashed the shaft down. I think the blacksmithing term would be sort of upending it, that you're squashing it down over, but it leaves quite sharp edges. So now I'm going to planish it and taking it, rounding it out. So I don't know whether it's the proper way, I kind of work my way around the edge a little bit just to push the edge down over, and then I can sort of work into the centre. Sometimes you'll notice that you favour a certain way of doing things, so that you might end up with the rivet head, rather than being perfectly flat, that it's starting to flink over one side. So easy enough, you just acknowledge that, twist it through 180 degrees, get it back on, do with the flat of the head just to encourage where I need it, and then rivet. As you're doing this, you'll learn to hear a difference in sound, because you're trying to focus on driving the force straight down the shaft and straight into here. And if it starts to tilt one way or another as you're hitting it, there's a flatter, deader sound as the hammer connects. So you need to keep an ear open as well as an eye. And if you notice, I've come right down here, rather than standing up and looking over the top. I like to be down and looking at eye level, and I can really see what's going on with the shape a bit more. But as you can see here, it's all a wrist action, and it's just using the weight of the hammer. I'm lucky in these that although it's short and I'm working a thin piece, that makes it quite hard. This is all going to be on the inside of a sheath, and there's going to be vellum protecting the blade edge itself. So these don't need to be perfect. As long as they're not going anywhere, that's all I really need. So the next one. Height of the shaft sticking out of your material needs to be pretty much the same as the diameter of the shaft. I use a 3mm shaft with 5mm heads. Two reasons for that. One, I found it works better for me, And that's probably due to the fact that I can get a 3mm drill bit nice and easily, and the diameter of my needle file, my round needle file, is 3mm, so it means I can clean my holes up quite easily. I actually drill all my holes because I'm lazy, and I find it a bit easier than a punch. So I'll just go through this one then. See, it does leave a little mark, the metal, and unfortunately metal touching veg tan leather will leave black marks. I'll hopefully be able to get some of them out with some alcohol later on. That's alcohol for the leather, not for me. And I'll do that before I soak it and form it through. can see there I had much shorter shaft, much more the correct length. I've perhaps not been perfect in the length that I'm cutting them to. Squashes much more easily. I don't get much of a change in angle because it's easier to keep it perfectly vertical. And there you go, much better rivet.